It's so frustrating when you repeat the same patterns over and over again. But why does it happen? Why do you heal the same things over and over again? And have you had that experience where something shows up in your life and you're outraged and you're frustrated and you're disgruntled and you can't even believe that the same thing is back again? And so you throw your hands up in the air and you say, universe, come on, be reasonable. I've healed this already. Why are you showing this to me again? Why is this back in my reality? I've spent so much time, I've spent so much money healing this damn thing, and here it is resurfacing. So what's going on with that? Because have you noticed that we go through phases in our lives where the past just comes back again, always in a different form? I want to share with you today a little bit about my personal frustration with the same old bloody thing revealing itself again. I'm going through that frustration right now, and I want to share with you my frustration so that you can hear a very personal human story and then hopefully go, okay, perhaps I have a little bit more compassion for myself, a little bit more space for myself, a little bit more understanding for myself. So I'll share that at the end. I first want to share why this happens. Why do we repeat the same thing over and over again? It's essentially one of two things. First of all, it can be that you're not, in fact, repeating the same thing. You're repeating a different level of the same thing. It can be that. It can be that you have dealt with whatever that ongoing pattern, that ongoing issue in your life is. You've dealt with it to a level, and now you're ready to go deeper. Now you're ready to unravel another layer of the same thing. We're multidimensional, and we can only heal to the level that we can meet ourselves at. So when you can meet yourself at this level, you're going to heal to that level, but then suddenly you get more real with yourself. You get more authentic with yourself. This is part of the gold of the spiritual growth journey. When you get more real, more authentic with yourself, it's then that you go deeper. And it's that which triggers another layer of the same thing happening in your life. So don't think, oh my God, I'm not doing it right. I'm not doing it properly. I'm failing at being spiritual. I'm failing at healing because now the same thing is happening again. It can be. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it can possibly be. But as I walk you through today's conversation, you're going to very clearly see what it is for you. So it can be a deeper level of an existing pattern that you've had, or it can be that you've been trying to heal in your head. And if this is you, it's not your fault. We've all done this. What I'm going to describe to you now as healing in the head. We've all done this in multiple occasions at multiple phases of our lives. So don't feel bad. Don't use what I'm about to say as license to judge yourself and go, you see, I knew I wasn't doing it right. I knew I was getting it wrong. We were born to a false matrix. The false matrix is a mental realm. That means think of the mental realm as 1% of who you are as a multidimensional totality. So that means 99% of you lives outside of the false matrix. 1% of you lives in 99. Oh, that's a lot of you. That's the wholeness of you. Now, the mental realm thrives, as you would expect, on the energy of thought. So what we've been indoctrinated to do very purposefully by the architects of the false matrix, because the ARCHONS, who are the architects of the false matrix, they had a game plan, and their game plan was, we've got to keep the population of the false matrix inside of the false matrix for as long as we possibly can. Why? Because new volunteers are not coming in. And also because it just works when we've got depleted beings, as depleted as the humans are right now. We'll talk about that. That just keep hovering around on this near empty state of being. It's almost like the false matrix has got people so enslaved right now that they're not even willing to try. They're not even willing to, they're too tired to grow. They're too tired to try to evolve themselves beyond where they are right now. So that's really prime position from the perspective of the false matrix. However, where we are in reality right now, yes, a lot of depleted people, but a lot of people going, I wasn't born for this. It's not supposed to be this way. There is something else, and by God, I'll get it. By God, I'm going to step into that 99% of me, and I'm going to transcend the place that I've been caught in, which is the mental realm, which is that tiny 1% of reality. So we've been healing with thoughts. We've been badgering our pain into submission. Almost, here's an example. Let's just say a person was dealing with lack. Maybe they were born to poverty. Maybe it wasn't poverty. Maybe it was a lack of confidence. Maybe it was a lack of love. Let's just say that that was the issue that a person had dealt with ad nauseum, like over and over and over in 1,000 different forms, in 1,000 different ways. They're tired, they're exhausted. It keeps coming back. Oh my God. And they're going to say, I can't believe the same thing is coming back again and again. A lot of the time, those people try to beat their pain, in this case lack, into submission. They try to domineer it with thought. They try to mind control their way through this, which means what? They're actually gluing themselves into the 1% of reality, which is the false matrix, because that is what the false matrix is comprised of, the energy of thought. That's why we were taught thought is so important. Thought creates your reality. No, it doesn't. Thought creates the reality of the false matrix. What creates true reality, in other words, where the 99% of you resides, is energy. So it's not the words that you say, at least not when you want to initiate true healing. That's where most people are caught. Most people are caught, and I know this is perhaps a facetious way of saying it, but most people are caught putting up new wallpaper inside their prison cell being the false matrix. So they're redecorating the prison cell, calling it healing, saying, look at how pretty my prison cell is now. I've got this lovely wallpaper. And then they're going to invite their friends over. Look at how I've healed. Look at my new wallpaper. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it pretty? I've got this mantra. I've got this affirmation. I say these words. And then those people cry. And I'm not saying that they're bad and wrong. They cry very genuine tears, and I feel genuine empathy for where they are, because I've been there too. You have too. We all have. That's the world we were born to. It kept us circling and circling and repeating and repeating. And for a while it would work, right? For a while you can use words, you can use thought to try to suppress. Oh, are you telling me, Kerry, that what we called healing was actually the suppression of an energy? Yes, I am. That's exactly what I'm saying. And I'm also saying that it doesn't make you bad and wrong. That is where we lived. And the more real we get, the more open and honest and authentic, the more we allow ourselves to see where we've been, the more we can transcend it. But you can't transcend what you can't see or won't see. So when you're repeating the same old same, primarily it's one of two things. Number one, it is because it's a deeper level of the same thing. Number two, it's because you didn't heal it in the first place. You only repackaged it. You only put it somewhere else. You only put it out of focus for a short while. And then when it comes back, it comes back louder than ever before. Right? When you are going to a deeper level of the same thing, it's not necessarily louder than it ever was before. It's still frustrating because you're going to go, here I am dealing with the same thing again. But it's not going to be with such a radical bang that pattern comes back into your life. It's just going to kind of slowly show up, and it's going to, for want of a better way of saying it, it's going to feel perhaps a little bit more manageable, right? So we've now gone through those scenarios. So maybe you can identify in your life, hey, maybe it's a little bit of both, right? Maybe there are patterns that you're dealing with at a deeper level, and maybe it's a little bit of a mix where you've also dealt with that spirituality of the head. It's something that I say, time and time again. In my online community, the Plasma Light Tribe, we meet once a week, normally on a Friday, and I say to these guys, you can't be spiritual in the head. And they say, but, and I answer, that's spirituality of the brain, which is only about prettying the prison cell as opposed to transcending it, because that's what we're actually here to do. And most healing modalities were that repackaging process. It was that put this into a pretty place, put nicer words, or almost like a band-aid, put nice words over where you've been, almost like you're convincing yourself this doesn't happen anymore. Use that example again, this lack doesn't exist in my world anymore. So we're denying it away, rejecting it away, packaging it away, repressing, suppressing it away, and calling it healing every time. But then, of course, falling to our knees with disappointment, frustration, and anger when the pattern comes back again and appears that it was never resolved. So I said to you in the beginning that I was going to share my personal story of what I'm dealing with, and I don't actually like doing this at all. I think you guys should know by now, I really don't enjoy sharing any personal stories about myself because I think it's pretty uninteresting, to be honest. I think the human story, like my personal human story, should be the last thing that we ever need to talk about because, hell, that would be a little bit of an ego trip from my eyes, through my vantage point. I would prefer to support you in becoming the highest version of you and just eliminating all of that personal chatter. But contrary to what I normally do, I'm going to break those rules and share a little bit of the pain of what I've been dealing with regarding one issue. I've shared this with you guys before, long time ago. So for those of you who've been with me for a while, you'll know the story. Here's the example of how the same damn thing repeats itself again and again. But for me this time, it's a deeper level of, you already know it, home. Oh, it's been such a pain point in my life. I was homeless for a while. I was kicked out of homes. I had the worst, most despicable betrayals, the most inhumane treatment from friends, from people who offered me places to stay. It backfired in so many different ways to the point that I was left bereft. We went through so many robberies. We lost every possession that we owned, sometimes because it was threatened away from us, sometimes because it was stolen away from us. And it took everything to rebuild myself with this one dream. I just want a home. I just want roots. I just want somewhere to call home. And obviously, you guys, you can understand why that's a big theme in my life, because what is my message? What is my teaching? How do I know the depth of that longing and yearning that we as star seed spiritual warriors all share, that yearning for home? How do I know that? Well, through my own damn experience, of course. And I just wanted to feel like I belonged in a home. So we built this house that I'm speaking to you from now. And that in itself was a huge event. What started out as a little renovation landed up with a builder completely cheating us, running away with all of our money. Imagine that. Now we've spent all of these years saving the money to buy a house. We find a builder who runs away with the money to get another builder who does exactly the same thing. And the stories, like I'm really summarizing, the stories are way deeper, way longer. But I don't want to bore you too much with all the details. I want you to see ongoing theme, ongoing theme, ongoing theme. So we eventually find this amazing house, and it's finally built primarily thanks to my amazing husband who just came in and rescued them. I actually said, just sell the damn thing. I don't want to move in. I don't even want to step my foot on the property. I was so wounded and hurt, and everything happened. And the house isn't even complete yet. We've only just recently moved back in. And as we do, as my so-called dream comes true, now Kerry's got her own home that nobody can chase her out of. As this happens, so much political disturbance takes place in the country I live in. Now, you guys, you'll know this, that the majority of you that listen to me has always been my beautiful, beloved wonders of the US. You guys, I love you so much. I don't know where it comes from. I have such an affinity for you. I get you. I love you. And I listen so often to you guys telling me both sides of the left-wing politics and the right-wing politics of your country. I listen to both sides because I love all of you and I listen to all of you and I have empathy for all of you. And I often want to say to you, what you're dealing with is so inflated, and I'm not taking anything away from you, from whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you see. I'm not demeaning it and denying it. What I'm saying is, you guys, I don't talk about the politics of my country. I don't talk about the politics of South Africa for a very important reason, because it wouldn't even be safe for me to do so. It wouldn't even be permissible for me to do so. So when I hear you guys ranting and you putting it all out there, and this is what I feel and this is what I think, I go, oh, yeah. Because there's so much that I can't say from the seat that I'm sitting in right now. So as we move home, all of this political uncertainty unravels now to the point where it would be foolish to stay. Now can you see what I'm talking about? Oh my God, it's the same thing, different level though. Different level, because now I can say to you, oh wow, I can build a new home. I can. Look at what I have achieved. Look at what I have overcome. If home was the thing I came here to master, because you guys know this, right? Maybe you don't. The thing that you've battled with the most in your life, you're battling with because that's what you've come here to master. I came here to master home in the body. I've so often said to Bryant, my beautiful husband, who I nearly lost through all of the hardship and the mayhem that we went through, I nearly lost the greatest love of my life in that time because I needed to learn an important lesson, which is, oh, love is home. I don't need the roof over my head to know that I love him and I would go anywhere with him and endure anything with him. Wow, that was a healing of all healings. Wherever my family is, I am home. Wherever love is, I am home. There have been so many spectacular revelations along this pathway. All of these go towards the mastery of bringing home here. If that's what I'm here to be a master of, by God, I have gone through every hardship that I could ever have imagined when it comes to just having a roof over my head. So now we're in this upside down place of saying, oh my God, we have this spectacular home, and do we even stay? It's a question mark. Is it irresponsible and reckless and just plain stupid to stay? And if we go, where do we go? I don't know. I don't know is the answer. So I have 1,000 different questions and so much unsettledness and uncertainty. And I'm sharing this with you because I want you to see that healing, the journey of healing, I want you to own it and be powerful and just so proud of it. Nobody can say to me, oh, Kerry, you're unhealed. You're supposed to be perfect. Well, they can say it. I don't believe it for a moment, because I know that every single one of us is gifted a journey to master, and I'm in the process of mastering this journey. And I love that this is the journey that I get to master, because I know what it has already allowed me to bring in. So then when I gain full mastery over this journey, what then will it allow me to build in? It's one of those moments where I look at it and marvel and say, how good can this get? How good? And you know, Bryant and I, that's my loving husband, Bryant and I were sitting on the bed last night, just feeling this lostness and this confusion and this, oh my God, moment in our lives, almost of just disbelief, like this can't really be happening, but no, it really is. And I said to him, you know what, we could make it work. In any country, we could make it work. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to see how good this can get. And that in itself is a radical up-leveling from where I've ever been with home and the concept of home. It's always been, oh, who's going to chase me away next, instead of How good can this get? Because I'll tell you what, you guys, where we live, it's so beautiful. It's magnificent. The mountains, the ocean, the dragons in the mountains, the wildlife, nature. Oh, it's so. If this is the home that we've built, and now as we are in the process of concluding the build, now we have to leave it. If that's the way that it plays out, then how good can this get is the only question that I can ask. I'm not sharing this with you because I want you to give me an answer or a solution. I'm sharing this with you because I want to inspire you to own your journey. I want to inspire you to be proud of your journey. I want you to wear your journey. Look, there are always going to be people that almost get a kick of superiority out of telling, you know what you've got to do. They love that. They love to kind of give you the answers. And I don't believe that that's what healing is. I believe healing is, hey, you're doing beautifully. Hey, you're mastering something amazing. I want you to have that inside yourself, that feeling of I'm living a miracle. I'm living a field of mastery that only I can conclude. And that's why the world can give me 1,000 pieces of advice, but none of it's going to fit because it's my journey to conclude. This is my journey, and I'm living it with beauty and pride and personal responsibility and integrity and love, and I'm letting the universe in and letting it guide me, show me, etc., etc., etc. Own your healing journey. So from my open heart, I see you, spiritual warrior, for the journey that you've journeyed, for how beautifully you have walked yourself through so much. Please will you acknowledge that with me? That you have walked through so much to be where you are right now, that you could have given up 1,000 times over, but you didn't. You're still here. And you're here for a reason. And the reason that you're here is to master whatever is in front of you, whatever you're dealing with. So when things feel like they're regurgitating and repeating, you keep going. And maybe you need to reorientate yourself and go, okay, I was working inside that tiny, minute mental realm of the 1%. I need to gain the skills of stepping into who I am as energy so I can really transcend where I've been stuck. Okay, that's why I've got the Plasma Light Tribe, is to support you. If that level of depth is calling you, maybe that's all that you need, just that little reorientation. I celebrate you. I honor you, and I love you. I really do. From my heart, all the way to yours. So much love. I hope you feel it.